We should check these off as we do them, because I don't know about you, but like it makes me feel good to check things off my list. We've done types of dark academia. Check. Dark academia books. Check. Dark academia authors. Check. Let's do movies and TV shows, okay? Hello everyone and welcome back to Tea and Lit. Let me get my cup even though I haven't taken a sip. Let's do this. Hello my intelligent friends and welcome back to Tea and Lit. In today's video we are going to be discussing some dark academia movies and TV shows that can help get you into the dark academia vibe. We're also gonna choke. Okay, this is the 4th or 5th video in this series of how to get into dark academia, and so please go ahead and check out the playlist, which I will link down below and up above for you to check out. So far I've done what is dark academia, types of academia aesthetics, authors, and some books to start with. So now we're going to do movies and TV shows. Some of the themes of dark academia is number 1, darkness, number 2, academia. Oh, you're so clever. Mostly like things that have darker themes. So more complex mental health, suicide, murder, mystery, maybe a little bit of horror. Those things are all included, but there's different types of academia aesthetics, so I also include like romance and some Jane Austen in here, and then some period pieces are also included. Some period inspired pieces are in here, and then in terms of academia, things that, you know, either are a study of history or literature or actually take place in schools. So our first one covers many of those themes, and that is the Dead Poets Society, which came out in 1989, and it stars Robin Williams and Ethan Hawke. This is one of the like great dark academia movies to check out. And it's definitely a favorite of mine, but I have a lot of feelings about it that I should probably talk about in a separate video. Robin Williams is just a treasure to us all, and it's so tragic that we lost him when we did and how we did, but he is truly a gem. Anyway, Dead Poets Society. Next up is Little Women. The most recent one was done in 2019, and it stars Emma Watson and Saoirse Ronan, and it is an adaptation of a book. So is the Dead Poets Society, which I didn't realize. I never read the book. I didn't even know the book existed, but Little Women does, and I knew that, in case you were wondering. Next up is Jane Eyre. I think that was Charlotte Bronte who wrote that one, but this movie came out in 2011, and it stars Michael Fassbender, who is a favorite actor of mine, and Mia Wasikowska, who I don't know who she is, but well, I've never watched any of her other movies. Next is Dorian Gray, which I had no idea was a film. We will be reading the book, and maybe we'll do a reaction video for the film. It came out in 2009 and stars Ben Barnes and Colin Firth. Next up is The Black Swan, which is definitely a movie, I think, for theater academics because it's so much based on performance arts, namely ballet, and it is certainly a very dark film, and it's got Natalie Portman and Mila Kunis, and it came out in 2010. And it is intense. Next I have Kill Your Darlings, which I've never seen but I've heard is amazing, and it stars Daniel Radcliffe and Dane DeHaan. I quite love Daniel Radcliffe. I definitely loved the Harry Potter films growing up. They were kind of like a defining moment in my life. They defined the season of my adolescence, and that movie came out in 2013. I know Emma from the channel Emmy really likes that movie, and I think that may have been kind of what drew her to the dark academia aesthetic, if I'm not mistaken. I think she mentioned that in a video once, so I would love to check that movie out because I do like her taste. Next up is The Theory of Everything, and that has Eddie Redmayne and Felicity Jones, both actors I really love. That movie came out in 2014, and if I'm not mistaken, that's the one where he is Anthony Hopkins. Lexi. No. Stephen Hawking. It's not even late. It's like 8:30. I don't know what my problem is. Alrighty, next up is Victor Frankenstein. Also has Daniel Radcliffe in it, and James McAvoy, who I also love. And that came out in 2015. I watched that movie and didn't really like it, but I may have watched that movie like at the wrong time. I wonder if I'd appreciate that movie more in October. I watched it in like April, and I was like, this is kind of a weird film, but maybe I watched it in April at 10 a.m. Like, it was just not on like a Tuesday or something. I didn't put myself in the vibes I should have. So maybe we will watch that. Maybe we'll watch it after we read Victor Frankenstein. By the time this video comes out, I will probably already have my review up for Victor Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. So I will link, if I do a movie review of it, I will link it if it's available. Next is Tolkien. Now, I totally forgot this movie came out in 2019, and it stars Nicholas Hoult and Lily Collins, and it tells the story, I think it's a very dramatized version of the story of Tolkien writing The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. And if I'm not mistaken, like, the Tolkien family didn't really like it, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember exactly. I totally forgot this movie came out, so I haven't seen it, obviously. But maybe we will at some point. I'll see if it's on Netflix. Next is a movie. It was probably my favorite non-superhero movie of 2019, and that is Knives Out. And it stars Jamie Lee Curtis and Don Johnson. I was just checking to see what my mom was saying. Chris Evans and Ana de Armas. This is the first movie of hers I've seen. It may be her first movie. And she did a phenomenal job in that film. It's got mystery and it's got murder. It's basically Clue on the big screen, and it was surprisingly amazing. Absolutely loved it. And it had my favorite person in the world, which is Chris Evans in it, who I love so much. Next is The Goldfinch, which I've never seen. It is based on a book, which I also haven't read, and that came out in 2019. It stars Ansel Elgort and Sarah Paulson. I don't know anything about this. I remember seeing the ads and just didn't feel anything towards it. So there's that. Those were the movies. Let's transition to TV shows. I feel way more passionately about these TV shows. First up is BBC's Sherlock, starring Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman, and I absolutely love it. Produced by the BBC, presented in America on PBS and Netflix. Cannot recommend enough. From 2010, I think, is when it started. And if you watch it, if you haven't watched it already and you start it and you think there aren't enough episodes, clearly something's missing, welcome to the fandom of Sherlock. This show is produced and written by Mark Gatiss and Steve Moffat, who are the villains of My Story. They both worked on Doctor Who for years, and that's another one of my favorite shows. And now they work on Sherlock, and that's a favorite show of mine. And they just have no problem toying with their audience. I watched the behind the scenes that they did. I'm just gonna grab about Sherlock for a second. I watched the behind the scenes that they did, and the way they met was just so sweet. They met at like some sort of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle fan meetup or something, and they were like, "Oh, I'm in the entertainment industry. Really? Me too. I write. Really? I produce. Why don't we be best friends and work on Doctor Who together? And why don't we also make a Sherlock show?" And it's just the best thing you could possibly imagine. Seriously, the best show. I absolutely loved it. Love it, love it, love it. And all I want is more of it in my life, except they don't make more, which is so sad. They haven't said they're done. So like there very well could be a season 5. But we've been waiting some years. But to be fair, there have been some years between all of the seasons. So if you are late to the Sherlock fandom, I would like to pre-apologize to you on behalf of all of us. For those of us who love Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman, I have a love-hate relationship with Mark Gatiss and Steve Moffat for keeping them so busy in all of their other projects that they don't actually have time to coordinate and come together for Sherlock Holmes, which is so depressing. Anyway, it is on Netflix. It comes on PBS in America, and I think it was produced by the BBC over in the UK, if I'm not mistaken. Next is another show that's on Netflix in the US, and I think is produced, quite confident, is produced by the BBC in the UK, and that is Peaky Blinders. That first came out in 2013, and it stars Cillian Murphy and Helen McCrory, I just watched this show. This show has been sitting in my Netflix to watch list literally for years. I love a good period piece. I love a good gangster drama. And I feel like it's probably been sitting in there since like, I don't know, 2016 probably. And finally, just one day, I watched the first episode and I was hooked right away. I was here for it. And it tells the story of these gypsy gangsters. And it's just so great. It's after the First World War, and the creator of the show is so phenomenal. You should listen to some of the things he has to say about it. Cillian Murphy is like I think he's fairly underrated, but I think he's one of the best actors of our time. And Helen McCrory is a femme fatale if I've ever seen one. She is just heavenly. I don't even know what the word is to describe my feelings for Helen McCrory. Helen McCrory is like fierce and talented and passionate and beautiful and strong and inspiring. I love Helen McCrory. Anyway, that's my little fangirl moment. Next up is The Alienist. That started in 2018. It's on TNT, I think, in the US. It stars Daniel Bruhl, Luke Evans, and Dakota Fanning. I watched the first half of the first season. The second season just came out earlier this year. I watched the first half of the first season and I didn't really like it. I have like a fairly hard line about crimes against children. Everybody has their line. And anything that's like mutilating children like really just puts me off. And I never figured out how they solved their, you know, crimes. Anyway, I should probably explain the show. Did I explain Peaky Blinders? I think I did. From what I remember of The Alienist, which I did watch the first few episodes when it came out in 2018. Was it 2018 or 2019? I got 2018 written down here. It's set maybe in the Victorian era? I don't know. It's got like the grunge that I associate with the Victorian era. It's definitely a dark show. The costume design I remember being absolutely phenomenal, and the sets I thought were gorgeous. The acting was great. It was more the content. Like everything else was firing on all cylinders, but the content itself definitely like turned my stomach. And the concept that I remember was that these little boys were turning up mutilated, and they were dressed as girls. And so what they were trying to figure out was there somebody who had a problem with little boys prostituting themselves as little girls to creepy old people. And that just, it wasn't for me. Like I said, the second season just came out. I may try it again just because I hate myself, but I have a huge moral qualm with even the fictionalization of abuse of children. So that's just a line that I have. We all have them. That one's mine. And I won't apologize for it. Anyway, the next one is Carnival Row, which I think is on Amazon Prime. Came out in 2019, and it stars Orlando Bloom and Cara Delevingne. And he's so loud. Do you hear him? And it seems like a great steampunk show. I don't know anything about it other than that I saw the ads a few times, and it seems like a steampunk show. They're at a carnival, and it seems like cool. But I haven't checked it out yet. So if you guys want me to check it out, if you've checked it out, I'd love to hear your thoughts on Carnival Row, because it's definitely one of those shows that, again, is sitting in my to-watch list on Prime, and maybe I shouldn't make a Peaky Blinders and wait like 4 years before checking it out. If you like Carnival Row, please write in the comments below what you think of it. I do love Orlando Bloom. I had a minor obsession with him when I was a teenager. When I say minor, I don't mean minor. And then the last one, of course, the classic, is Gilmore Girls. Everybody loves Gilmore Girls. And that first came out in the year 2000, and it stars Lauren Graham and Alexis Bledel. Absolutely great show. I haven't watched that Netflix like reboot sort of deal that they did, that like season thing. And I was talking to my brother that we may do like a Gilmore Girls watch. He's never really watched the show. I watched it every day after school. That was like part of my routine, is I would come home from school, I would call my mom to let her know that I made it home safe. I would watch Gilmore Girls on ABC Family, and then I would do my homework. And so perhaps I will go back to Gilmore Girls. I did the Gilmore Girls readathon with Kira Foster and Carolyn Marie Reeds, and that was so much fun. So I'm definitely wanting to get back into Gilmore Girls because I know it's on Netflix, so I want to check it out. Anyway, these are the movies and TV shows that you should check out if you're interested in learning more about the dark academia aesthetic and kind of what drives us and what inspires us. I would love to know in the comments below if you've seen Carnival Row with Orlando Bloom and Cara Delevingne. Also, anything else that you feel. What are some of the other movies and TV shows that I didn't include in here? And give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and if you'd like to see more, I will link the entire Dark Academia playlist up at the top or at the end of the video or down below or somewhere, so you guys can check out more of this. Thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you next time. Bye!